Alright, so I recently just watched the Scoobynatural Supernatural special. I have never seen Supernatural before. This is the first time for me, and I already kind of love it. Now, I'm familiar with Scooby-Doo. I grew up with Scooby-Doo. I've been watching Scooby-Doo ever since I was just a little wee boy. But when I heard they were doing a crossover with Supernatural and Scooby-Doo for the very first time, I believe this was, late 2017 they announced it? I'm not 100% sure exactly when. I was like, alright, cool, sure. And then as soon as I saw the trailer, I'm like, I need this. Look, call me edgy all you want, but I feel like Scooby-Doo could really benefit from the idea of, I don't know, having actual supernatural elements, pun not, intended, actual supernatural elements inside the series. I mean, yeah, that kind of takes away from the whole idea of Scooby-Doo. Every monster is supposed to be just a guy in a suit. But I feel like that can make things a bit more interesting, and I feel like that leads to a lot more, I don't know, how do I put this? Not plot twist is not the word I'm looking for, but more story elements. More potential is the word I'm looking for. Like, every single time, they had actual ghosts or actual supernatural elements in their either straight-to-TV movies, TV shows. It's always been fondly remembered. Zombie Island, the Mystery Incorporated TV show, fondly remembered. Maybe not everything. Maybe there's like one or two things that I'm not remembering that are just hated and also have a real-life supernatural, not real life, just a supernatural element. But I don't know. With this generation, with the obsession of story-driven cartoons like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and the 2017 DuckTales, I feel like Scooby-Doo is one of those series that could take advantage of that. And they almost did with Mystery Incorporated. But they didn't. Well, they did. But it ended way too soon, in my opinion. And then Be Cool Scooby-Doo came around and, oh boy, I always wanted to see what it would be like if Seth MacFarlane made Scooby-Doo. I'm sure no one's ever made that joke before, but can you blame me? Anyway, I'm not talking about Scooby-Doo as a whole. I'm talking about the Scoobynatural special. Now, keep in mind, this is from someone who's never seen Supernatural before, so to see the episode start with either Dean or Sam fighting a giant plushy dinosaur with electric eyes just felt a little goofy. It was not the series I was expecting. I was expecting it to be super serious, no jokes whatsoever, until they got to the Scooby-Doo bits. I guess, I don't know, I've never seen Supernatural before, so maybe it was just an ill-formed judgment. I'm not going to do a full review right here, because I'm not that kind of YouTuber. I don't do reviews. So, if anyone wants to see like a synopsis of the plot, sorry, and trust me, I'm not going to be spoiling anything. Just anything that's seen within the trailers, I'll probably be talking about. Like the fact that there's actual gore and real-life consequences. Like, Shaggy breaks his arm at one point. Which is something that I kind of like, and is an example of what I feel like Scooby-Doo could eventually become. Now, I know that I kind of doubt that they're going to try and make a Scooby-Doo series with blood. And this special is probably just like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But I would love it if Scooby-Doo tried to go into a similar route. They don't need blood or real-life violence. They don't need broken limbs. They don't need characters swearing up a storm. I'm just saying they could probably take notes from this special for the next Scooby-Doo adaptation. I say next because it's not if, it's when. It's kind of like wondering if there's going to be another Marvel superhero movie. It's not an if, it's when. I haven't watched that many Marvel movies. I've only seen Avengers. That's it. Oh, lordy. But if there's any, I will give some criticism towards the special. And this is from someone who was gushing about it the entire time he was watching it. I do feel as if that at the very end, when the Scooby Gang actually... You know what? No, that'd be spoiling. I'm sorry. I almost spoiled the ending. No spoilers, but here's the ending. Look at me. I'm professional. Anyway, they actually do something with the Scooby Gang that changes their minds about something in what seems to be a negative way, but I felt as if it could be a positive thing, but then they just went back on it at the very end. Like, what was the point? But I feel like if I explained it, it'd be spoiler territory, so... Yeah, sorry! Anyway, funny thing is, when looking up this special, I was just trying to find a way to watch it on here on the computer. I was going to see if it was on Netflix, but then I just looked up Scoobynatural. It's on the CW website, which is cwtv.com, which just those letters didn't make me think it was the website for CW. It made me think it was one of those piracy websites like Kiss Cartoon and whatnot. Then I found out they had an app. I downloaded the app. Then I looked in the computer again. Oh, I could watch it on the computer. There was no point in downloading this. Uninstall. Delete. Because I'm an idiot. Oh, Jesus. It was still a cute little special. I don't know if it's really going to add anything to the plot of Supernatural, now that I know the plot of Supernatural, that is. And I know it doesn't add anything to Scooby-Doo, because I think it's just meant to take place in a universe of the old cartoons, like the original, the 1950s. Was it the 1950s or 60s? I don't know. I actually don't remember when the Scooby-Doo TV show came to be. Anyway, but it wasn't taking place within a specific universe. When they were going into their world, they were going into an actual cartoon. They weren't going into another universe. So I guess that kind of confirms it doesn't affect the Scooby-Doo canon, like, at all. And I think those open a lot of different possibilities. I thought for a second that they were going to kill off one of the Scooby-Doo characters, because they could have done that, since it wasn't really affecting any universe or any canon. Spoiler alert, the Scooby-Dang doesn't get killed. Not that that's technically a spoiler, that's kind of obvious. That was just more of a personal thing I thought was going to happen. So it's not really a spoiler, per se. Sorry, I just almost knocked over my bottle of soda. And also, sorry if it seems like I'm a little distracted. My dog's been going through a little bit of issues right now. She's been breathing heavily. She's not been moving that well. I'm not sure what's going on. I've been checking her out. And everything seems fine now, but just a thought in the back of my mind. I don't want to go to sleep and then wake up to find she's dead. That would freak me out. Now back to the actual topic. The special was cute. It was funny. It wasn't perfect, mind you. But it did what it served its purpose, and it definitely wasn't awful. Well, let's just say that. It was fun, and I definitely would watch it again if I was in the mood to watch it. But at the same time, I feel as if there's a lot of potential that comes with that. Not for Supernatural, but for Scooby-Doo. You know how, like, let's say there's a crossover or maybe a special that sort of sparks interest within something, and TV executives are like, oh, what if we bring it back, but in that fashion? They've done it multiple times. I can't think of any examples. I guess DuckTales is a good example, because they brought DuckTales back, but it's more in a similar vein to, like, Gravity Falls and Steven Universe. The fact it's more story-driven and whatnot. I feel like they could do the same thing with Scooby-Doo, not just a whole story-driven thing, but taking a similar approach to what the Scoobynatural series did. I also love how they kept the art style the same. They didn't do a big cop-out and just be like, oh, let's just do it in Flash. They fully animated it in what looks like a current version of the 1950 series. To me, it looks more like What's New Scooby-Doo. For those who don't know, in the early 2000s, they made sort of a reboot of Scooby-Doo called What's New Scooby-Doo. Sort of like, you know, the new adventures of blank. Even though nowadays it's not really that new. It was, I don't see many people talking about Be Cool, not Be Cool Scooby-Doo, What's New Scooby-Doo. And to me, it was a pretty alright and serviceable series. It felt more like just a continuation of the 1950s series, more than an actual reboot. But, you know, I remember watching it and enjoying it for what it was. It was one of the... I'll admit, when I was a kid, I was meh when it came to Scooby-Doo. I found the 1950s series boring. I found some of the straight-to-TV movies boring. I loved Cyber Chase. Don't judge me. I love What's New Scooby-Doo. And I love Mystery Incorporated. I feel like Scooby-Doo is a series that has a lot of potential, but I feel like a lot of companies don't go into that potential. They just kind of want, copy and paste what the old series did. Which isn't inherently bad, but you still need to be experimental, especially when you're making a new adaptation with its own canon and own universe. Like Ninja Turtles. People may be complaining about Rise of the Ninja Turtles, being like, what's with Raph? Why is his arm so big? But I'm sure they'll warm up to it. Everyone made the same complaints about the 2012 CGI series. People even made similar complaints to the 2003 Teen Titans when that was new. So I just have to wait and see when that comes out. We're not talking about Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're talking about Scooby-Doo. What the hell was I doing? No, we're not even talking about Scooby-Doo. We're talking about Scoobynatural. Jeez, I'm terrible at this. I don't see anyone being interested in these videos. I see them doing horribly. But, you know, it's worth experimenting with, I guess. If they turn out to help my channel, maybe I'll keep doing them. Anyway, Scoobynatural. I give it a let's see, 2 Scooby snacks out of. This is why I script these things. Holy crap.